Welcome to A Better HR Business, the podcast that looks at how HR consultants and HR tech firms grow their businesses and how they help their employers to get the best out of their people. Remember, for show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Okay, let's get started.
Hello, welcome back to the show. Great to have you along. And I'm really pleased to be announcing the launch of our conference called the People Business Growth Summit. It's a one-day online event focused on how HR-related consultancies and HR tech companies actually grow. And you can find all the details. You can register right now at summit.getmorehrclients.com. So check the show notes for the link, but that is summit, SUMMIT, summit.getmorehrclients.com. And across the day, we'll hear from founders, operators, and marketing leaders who have built HR consultancies, built or launched HR tech products, grown revenue, and even sold their companies. And of course, as always, when I say HR, it includes the full gamut, the full range of the HR world, whether that be L&D, organizational development, org design, talent acquisition, recruitment, marketing, workplace health and safety, workplace well-being, etc. So the full range under that HR banner, if you like. And what the summit will be covering, several different themes. The first is marketing and demand generation. So how consultancies and HR tech companies attract attention, build authority, and generate clients. We'll be having talks around sales and revenue growth. So lessons on pricing, partnerships, positioning, and enterprise deals. There'll be talks around building HR tech companies, so how founders move from an idea to gaining traction and finding product market fit. We'll be looking at how you scale consulting firms, so from winning your first clients, and in one case, one of the talks will be covering how to win your first clients before you even start. But so winning your clients through to systemizing your services and building firms that can grow. And then lastly, it's around growth strategy and valuation. So what actually drives the value of HR businesses and how founders prepare for acquisitions or eventual exit. So got a lot of great speakers, really good speakers. I'm just going to run through them all and give you an idea. So we've got the highly respected David Naidu. He is the CEO of the strategic HR advisory firm Partners Plus. And David will be talking about what drives valuation when buying or selling an HR business. And so, that explains what drives valuation, HR consultancies and HR tech firms, and then what should founders do long before considering a sale. So if you're thinking about buying a business, selling your business, maybe merging, so doing a bit of M&A, that's going to be a really interesting talk. I've got the highly experienced Patricia Hyde. She's the VP of Marketing at the innovative HR tech platform Hubert. Patricia will be talking about choosing marketing channels that actually scale in HR tech. And she'll be sharing how HR tech companies evaluate marketing channels and decide which ones are truly worth investing in. So some of the decisions around that. The very well-known HR journalist and editor, Katie Jacobs, who spent many years covering the profession through People Management HR magazine. Katie will be talking about how HR businesses can use content to build authority and attract clients. Basically, that content and thought leadership side of things to build credibility and attract buyers. A really interesting topic, very helpful indeed. The highly regarded industry and analyst and partnership guru, Ward Chrisman. Ward is known for his deep knowledge of HR technology, ecosystems, and partnerships. And he'll be talking about how HR tech and consulting firms grow through partnership marketing. And so we'll be exploring how partnerships, alliances, and channel relationships can become major drivers of growth. So that'll be good for consultancies and tech firms alike. The commercially savvy Linda Waters, Senior Solutions Manager at the globally respected professional body CIPD. That's the SHRM equivalent, if you like, across the UK, Ireland, and beyond. Linda will be talking about understanding what buyers actually need before designing HR services, and some really interesting case studies and discussing how HR businesses can better understand buyer needs and translate that insight into services that will sell more easily. The very sharp LinkedIn advertising specialist, Okorosi Davis, founder of the digital marketing consultancy KI Consulting. Okarossi will be talking about when LinkedIn ads actually make sense for HR tech and consulting firms. Big thing and big area for many businesses that want to scale up and use LinkedIn. Obviously, that's where the buyers are. How to use that in an advertising approach, and it is very different to other methods. So it's really great that we've got him there. And he's going to be breaking down when LinkedIn advertising can work extremely well for HR businesses and when it tends to waste money. So some really interesting decision forks in the road. So do check that out. The highly insightful, he's a masterful marketer, Dominic Lefort, co-founder and CEO of Sherlock, the CRM or marketing and consultancy platform designed specially for HR consultants. Dominic will be talking about how successful HR consultancies structure and price their services. Like I said, very, very smart guy, knows this stuff inside out. And Dominic will be sharing insights from HR data on how successful consulting firms package and price their services. The creative brand and marketing strategist, Barb Collins, she's Director of Marketing and Brand at the HR technology company Thread HCM. Really pleased to be having Barb come along and speak. Barb will be talking about when HR tech companies should invest in brand. It's a big decision to make. And so she'll be exploring the role of brand building and how HR tech companies know when the time is right to invest in it. The dynamic revenue leader, Emily Fennick, will be there. She's the Chief Revenue Officer at the employee feedback platform All Voices, which has been just going from success to success. Emily will be talking about the topic of from product features to buyer problems, selling HR technology. And Emily will be discussing how HR tech companies shift their messaging away from product features and towards solving real buyer problems. The highly experienced technology advisor and consulting firm leader, Andy Najjar, Chief Operating Officer at the HR transformation consultancy FutureSolve, will be joining us. Andy will be talking about how to sell large deals to enterprise clients, obviously very hot topic. And Andy will be sharing lessons from helping organizations win and deliver large enterprise deals. The amazing consultancy founder, Sarah Chang, CEO of the national HR advisory firm Clearwater HR Consulting, she'll be speaking about how they're systemizing their HR consultancy to prepare for an eventual sale. Fascinating area, and Sarah will kindly be explaining how they are building systems and processes to make a consultancy more scalable and more attractive to future buyers. The data-driven marketing leader, Sarah Bedrick, VP of Marketing at the Benefits Technology Compt, will be joining us. Sarah will be talking about how we decide which marketing channels to double down on. Very tough area there's a lot to think about. And so Sarah is kindly going to be walking us through this and exploring how marketing leaders decide which channels deserve more investment and which should be stopped. The impressive startup founder, Christy McCann, CEO of the workforce skills platform SkillsCycle, will be joining us, and she is kindly going to be speaking about positioning a new HR tech company in a competitive market. And she's going to share very valuable lessons about launching and positioning a new HR tech company in a crowded category. So I'm very pleased with that. The accomplished HR tech entrepreneur, Stefan Rivard, founder of the AI-powered assessment platform Hiring Branch, is kindly joining us. Stefan's an amazing guy. He's going to be talking about the topic of from idea to first customers in HR tech. Big issue for early stage HR technology companies. And Stefan has a wealth of knowledge and experience. And I know he coaches HR tech companies and startups in this area as well. So he's going to be explaining how founders move from a product concept to real traction and early customers. The widely respected health technology leader, Seth Serksner, he is the Chief Health Officer at the digital health literacy platform EdLogix. Seth's going to be joining us, and Seth's going to be kindly talking about how their podcast became a growth engine for content partnerships and sales. Great guy and great business. And Seth will be describing how their podcast has generated leads, built industry relationships, and strengthened their company brand at EdLogix. So really looking forward to that. The seasoned HR advisor, Justin Volman. Justin's the CEO of the consulting firm Volman HR Strategy. Great guy again. Justin will be talking about sales and pricing decisions that shape HR consultancy growth. It's really interesting for SME consulting firms and even solo consultants. And Justin will be exploring the pricing and sales decisions that shape the trajectory of small to medium consulting firms. Next up, we have the entrepreneurial HR consultant, Alice Ferretti. Alice is the founder of the excellent people advisory firm Humans Are. And Alice will be talking about winning your first consulting clients before launch, which I think will be very interesting to many early stage or even new starter consultants. And Alice will be sharing how she secured her first consulting clients even before officially launching her business. The highly respected consulting pioneer Lisa Brown Alexander, founder and former CEO of the nationwide consultancy Non-Profit HR, will be joining us. Lisa will be talking about how she built and sold her HR consultancy firm. And I think they got to about 130 staff nationwide. Fascinating story about how she built and sold the business. So Lisa will be sharing the story behind building, scaling, and ultimately selling one of the most respected HR consultancies in the non-profit sector. The highly experienced technology executive Anthony Presley, a product and startup leader at Custom Business Solutions and TimeForge. Anthony will be joining us. He'll be talking about what HR tech founders get wrong about product sales and go-to-market. And he'll be discussing the most common mistakes founders make when building and scaling HR technology companies. So really interesting area, that one. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, helpful, you can check out the full agenda, see the speakers, read their bios. You can do all of that now at summit.getmorehrclients.com. And how to attend? Well, remember, it is fully online, so you can attend from anywhere in the world. If the time zone is tricky for particular talks or you can't attend every session live or whatever, don't worry about it. Your free ticket will include 24 hours of replay access, so you can come back and watch stuff when it better suits you. There's also an optional implementation pass, which gives you extended access to the recordings, resources, so you can revisit the sessions and put the ideas into practice. But also there'll be some reports and syndication of the data and information taken from those talks. So you can use those in a very practical sense. That's why it's called the implementation pass. So you might want to check that out as well. There's also going to be community and discussion. So during the event, you can join the online discussions, share your thoughts, questions, experience, and advice with other founders and HR professionals joining from around the world. And please, I want to thank the sponsors. So do take a moment to check out the summit sponsors, click into them, have a look, contact them if you think that you want to team up with them in any way, use their services. So thank you to the sponsors. Go check them out on the website. And you can register now and see the full agenda at summit.getmorehrclients.com. So summit.getmorehrclients.com. I really want to thank all of the speakers. I really want to thank all of the sponsors, and I want to thank people who are attending too. So thank you all. Hope to see you there. Thanks very much.
Thanks for joining us today on A Better HR Business, the podcast that explores the world of HR consulting and HR tech businesses. For show notes and downloads, go to www.getmorehrclients.com/podcast. That's getmorehrclients.com/podcast. Remember to subscribe and share the show with any friends who are busy growing a HR business. Thanks, and see you next time.